Hello, this is JK. I'm a Korean sommelier, and on this podcast, I mostly share stories about Korean food and why it pairs beautifully with wine. But once in a while, I'll also bring you interesting wine-related topics from around the world. Today, I'd like to talk about the biology of the grapevine. But before we dive in, I want to share a fascinating piece of wine news. In 2025, the European Union approved 3 new grape varieties for commercial winemaking. The article appeared in the drinks business under the headline, Class of 2025, EU approves 3 new grape varieties. The names are Calardus Blanc, Magdalene Noir, and Negre de la Canurgue. Even as a sommelier, these are completely new to me. Each has its strengths. One resists disease, another balances complexity, and the third is great for rosé wines. Now you might wonder, does this happen every year? Do we get new grapes in 2023, 2024, and beyond? Actually, no. Approval of new grape varieties is so rare that it makes international headlines. That's because there are already thousands of grapes on this planet, and developing or discovering one fit for winemaking takes decades of trial, error, and science. And even once approved, success is never guaranteed. In that sense, household names like Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon really are the born lucky grapes. Why so many grape varieties? So why are there so many grape varieties in the first place? Sometimes overwhelming for consumers. To understand this, let's look at the biology of the grapevine. Part 1. Common structure. No matter the name, Cabernet, Chardonnay, Albarino, Syrah, all grapevines share a similar structure and growth cycle. Part 2. Species of grapevine. There are 4 main grape species, but winemakers really focus on one, Vitis vinifera. This is the Eurasian species that has been humankind's partner in wine for thousands of years. The other 3, Vitis labrusca, Vitis riparia, and Vitis berlandieri, come from North America. They produce wines with a musky, foxy aroma, often compared to wet animal fur, so they're not popular for fine wine. But they do have one essential trait, resistance to phylloxera, the tiny root louse that once devastated European vineyards. That's why most vinifera vines today are grafted onto American rootstocks. Part 3. What is a species? In biology, a species is the basic unit of classification. Members can interbreed and produce fertile offspring. So, while vinifera and labrusca both belong to the grape genus Vitis, they're separate species. Crossbreeding is tough, and even if it works, the results are unpredictable. Think of humans. We all belong to Homo sapiens. Different ethnic groups are like varieties, but still the same species, able to have children together. Part 4. Varieties within vinifera. Now, within just vinifera, there are thousands of varieties. Estimates range from 5,000 to 8,000 in total, but only about 1,300 are actively used in winemaking. So when you see a wine label, you're really encountering only a fraction of grape diversity. Part 5. How varieties are preserved. Here's a little quiz. How do grape varieties pass on their traits? Not by seed. A vine grown from seed won't be the same as its parent. Instead, growers use cuttings or layering. Today, cuttings are standard. A piece of vine is planted, grows roots, and becomes a clone of the parent vine. Part 6. Grapevines in the wild. We think of vineyards as neat rows, but wild grapevines are climbing forest plants. They scramble up trees, flower only when they reach the light, and spread by birds that eat the grapes and scatter the seeds. This survival instinct, deep roots, long shoots, made grapes resilient enough to catch human attention. Scholars believe grape cultivation began around 10,000 years ago. Early people carried grapes in baskets, some were crushed, and after a few days, natural fermentation began. They drank it, felt something new, and wine entered human life. Planting grape seeds created countless variations over centuries, which is why diversity exploded. Closing. So, how about that? Today, We have about 1,300 grape varieties in active use for wine, and tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of wine brands worldwide. On this planet, there are almost as many different wines as stars in the night sky. And that's a beautiful thought. That's all for today's episode. Please look forward to the next case. Thank you for listening.